hip hop. Right out in the park. We used to do it out in the dark. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How y'all feeling out there today?
All right, everybody. So, welcome to episode 3 of the Project Mirror podcast. All right, I'm gonna clap it up for us making it to episode 3, trying to get to episode 300.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, and
Baby steps. Baby steps.
yeah. Thanks to everybody out there that's growing with us,
Mm-hmm.
watching our maturation. And speaking of the word maturation, that's what Chris and I are going to delve into today is the maturation of the culture of hip hop and how it has influenced our culture in positive and healthy ways. One of the ways is, the Locks, who uh, are a hardcore rap group. Styles P took it upon himself to start opening up juice bars in Westchester and throughout other spots in New York. I'm not sure if he has other spots in different parts of the U.S., but definitely in Westchester and other spots in New York. And I thought that was a great thing, giving people the opportunity to put healthy nutrients into their system.
Yeah.
For a hip hop artist to do that, So wanted to talk about some of the positive ways that hip hop has affected the culture, because I think we spent the last 2 episodes, talking about some of the negative aspects of hip hop and what it had on the culture. But you got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? So
definitely.
looking forward to you guys' comments that are out there. I see Jay Black. I see you're on already. Yes, Flavor Time is definitely in the building. So definitely looking forward to you guys. I'm gonna be sending the link out to a few more people as we go in. So what positive ways? And we got Dog back there doing the production. Dog said, I'm gonna stay a little quiet today. I was like, we'll see when we get into some of these topics on hip hop. We'll see.
Yeah, he's a hip hop head.
Yep. So
I mean, a lot of the positives are, the wealth and the jobs that hip hop has created. Hip hop has created a lot of avenues for revenues. You know what I'm saying? And it's just it's nonstop. It's been, like they said, they thought it would be a fad or whatever, but it's since it hit the ground, man, it's just been like a locomotive train. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just been moving forward and forward and forward. And again, it brought a lot of wealth. A lot of people switched over from drug dealing to hip hop because of the revenue it generates. So that's a positive. Everybody ain't standing on the corner no more. That it's kind of dead. Everybody is trying to get it how they can through clothing, still getting their own alcohol. And now now instead of I hate to say it, the St. Ives commercial, Ice Cube, and it was making back in the days, but still, that's sponsorship. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You still getting the sponsorship, so it's one of those things where, man, this thing, man, has made people billionaires.
Absolutely. Literally. I don't agree with everything that people do as far as gaining income and some of the marketing schemes that people do, but at the end of the day, I'm not God. I'm not people's judge, and there are some positives that come out of some of the negatives. As you said, we started off as a culture back in the day where people.
You got an echo in the back. Can you hear it?
Yeah, there is an echo in the back.
I think it's somebody's phone.
Nah, my phone is not on.
Mine either.
I mean, not on this.
Do you got another?
Oh, it's something.
It's a delay. It's a delay somewhere. But yeah, it's a delay somewhere. But
Keep it going.
you know, as you were stating, a lot of people shed light and they glorified drug dealers back in the day because a lot of those people we don't know, or a lot of people don't know, they fronted a lot of money for hip hop artists to, you know,
Yeah.
get studio time
Yeah.
and things of that nature. And
Yeah.
then you had um people who came right off the show, went right into hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the way it started. So it had to start from somewhere, and it may have been a negative aspect of, you know, delving into the drug game. But look at what it opened, the
Yeah.
doors that it opened for people.
They had to funnel their money, through dirty water to come out clean on the other side.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, a lot of record labels got started off, you know, legal drug money or whatever have but again, it's entrepreneurs,
Mhm.
So I mean,
I think it's.
politics, you know,
I think it's the phone that's feeding into the broadcast.
a lot of, politics did the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It made a lot of people millionaires, billionaires. But again, because it's our culture, get looked at it differently. But
Okay.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So now they should be happy that you know. Look at Jay-Z rubbing elbows with Barack. Probably got his number on speed dial. Can call him. That's big, man. Coming from a project in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? To that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. So like you said, a negative to a positive. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah. It's like, what do you do with what you get and what you got? You know, a lot of us, we couldn't, or most of us, all of us, we couldn't help the circumstances that we grew up in and were born into. And instead of sitting around and whining and complaining about it, it's like, well, what do I do with this? What do I do with the soil that I'm on? What do I do with this environment that I'm in? And hip hop came out of a time where people were trying to express themselves and felt like they had no voice. So you had, songs that told about where they were at the time in the ghettos, and like, I'm here too. Like, listen to me. It's not just about other genres of people. It's about our culture too. Like, we're here, listen to us, and we're going through these things. As I stated, I think it was on a last podcast or the first one. Curtis Blow's "The Message," which was huge for me when I was younger, telling about how he was growing up.
The message wasn't Curtis Blow.
Who was the message?
That was Grandmaster Flash.
Grandmaster Flash.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and the Furious Five.
Yeah.
So with the broken glass everywhere, yeah. So they were telling about where they were at that time. You know what I mean? And that was the beginning stages of hip hop. And now we've grown into a culture of, like you said, billionaires, a culture of fashion icons. These young kids are getting into the game nowadays and becoming millionaires overnight.
They get into the game, but they dying after they get into the
Yeah,
game.
it happens. I mean, there's the negative aspects of that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, how has hip hop helped them in a positive way? You know what I mean? What could they have died on the street, or more of their friends, or more of their entourage been dead and drugs and things of that nature on the street? At least have the opportunity to do something right with the million people.
And y'all don't pay homage. Y'all just, and you gotta give respect to get respect. And when the old school cats is telling you, y'all be thinking the old school cats hating on y'all. They're just trying to show y'all, man, like a different direction. You can do what you want to do, but just listen sometimes. Don't stop saying, I know you don't know, a lot of, but some of y'all do know, because one day you was eating spam, you know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, you traveling the world eating caviar. So, that's what hip hop did for you, So pay homage to those that started that, because like they made sacrifices. There was a lot of sacrifices made,
Mm-hmm. But
for you to get there, for
mm-hmm.
you to sit at that table with somebody you never thought you would sit at the table with.
Isn't that microscopic of just the culture that we're growing up in right now? Like to where this generation of millennials, they're like that. They don't pay homage to elders. It's all about them. It's me, me, me. So should we, as the leaders, have more of an understanding of them, more patience for them? Like when you're raising children, your child doesn't start out knowing everything that you would like to teach that child.
Yeah.
You have to be patient with
Yeah.
that child.
Yeah, most definitely.
So should we have more patience and understanding for them?
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing is, you tell them like, yo, you can sit them down and talk to them and say, yo, when I open this door, you know what I'm saying? Walk down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Walk to the car.
Mm-hmm.
You open the door, they jump off the porch,
Mm-hmm.
bypass the stairs, and run straight to the car. And it's like, yo, I didn't tell you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so listen, when I open this door, listen to what I'm telling you. I'm not telling you not to go forward. I'm not telling you not to, broaden your horizons or whatever. I'm just saying, yo, listen to what I'm telling you. Go step by step. You know what I'm saying? It's it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And the culture is the money is coming so fast for these young dudes, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, they able to take their moms out of the hood, and they be able to put their give their boys jobs, and they're able to travel the world. But also you gotta slow down sometimes, because like Dog alluded to back there a minute ago, you're dying at a high rate.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know, you're not getting it and chilling, you're getting it and you're going reckless.
Mm-hmm.
Just like oh, I'm sorry.
No, look, here you go. Here you go. He said, "I wasn't
that's
gonna
not
say
the point
nothing."
of getting money. That's not the point of getting money. It's not for you to get it and just go crazy, but it's get it and chill and build. Start building up your community rather than tearing it down. Some of y'all, you getting the money, you're still putting guns on the streets, you still, what I'm saying, you still arming your men's and them with guns and stuff. And it's like, nah, take that abandoned building, man, fix it up. That's property. You know what I'm saying? Take something and invest, because your money going to slow down at some point. It's going to slow down at some point. You're getting it. The getting is good. So do something good with it. It's coming. You're getting it hand over fist right now.
Just like professional Sutton,
Mm-hmm.
politics was American white way. Hip hop was used to destroy us, but we didn't let it. So they are pissed.
Absolutely. Shout out to Professional Sutton too. Absolutely. So that's what I wanted to get into as Chris was talking. I'm sitting and I'm thinking about how these cats are influenced to do what they do. It's not like they wake up and say, "This is what I'm going to do." This is the culture that has been created for them. There are a lot of people who run the music industry that are not of our culture.
Yeah.
And they could, if they want to, give the record deals to, more positive hip hop artists, but they choose to handpick these hip hop artists who are going to influence the culture in a negative way.
Yeah. You already know what that is.
Yeah, absolutely. So like Sutton said, and I'm gonna read it again. Thank you, Dog. Politics was the American white way. Hip hop was used to destroy us, but we didn't let it. So they are pissed. So whatever we're going through, we find ourselves out of. You know what I mean? Now you have like the holes in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Run DMCs in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like when Run DMC dressed back in the day, that was the drug dealing culture of Hollis, Queens, with the rope chains and the Adidas suits. That wasn't them. That's what people were rocking back in the day. They got that from the streets. but their music stood the test of time. Their talent stood the test of time. So, they were, ultimately they are now considered pioneers of the game when they were just kids copying off of the street culture that happened to have a talent. So I'm hoping that is what's happening now. And we need to have more dialogue, as you just stated, to the younger cats, like, listen to me, because I love you and I'm just trying to help you. You know what I mean? Because, like I said on the last podcast, we're going through something. We're in the wilderness. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
So I do believe we have to have more patience.
Time is running out, though. How much more patience, you got to, I know time is time. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying it's running out to the point where, we gotta start, like, we should have started like when Chuck D was talking about it. You know what I'm saying? We should have started back then, but it's and that's one thing we have to stop thinking we have time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We're all allowed it a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So we gotta come together and make it happen. Like soon.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, you know what? Public Enemy was Public Enemy was one of the best groups of all times. That not only did they have a fly beat, but the lyrics matched it.
Yeah, the message was strong. You know what I'm saying? The message was strong, and and like Lamont said, some stuff just stands the test of time. And Public Enemy lyrics, and it's what I'm saying, that's going to reign through the test of time because it was so strong, and it's still prevalent to this you know what I'm saying, to this day and age. That's like some stuff in the 60s and 50s. It's still prevalent to this day and age. So,
just like Professional Sutton, but the older generation has to teach and not hate preach. And he's 100% right about that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's why I wanted to delve into, and we're going to get into the positive aspects of hip hop.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm saying we need to have more patience. And sometimes love is shown in the form of, or can be misconstrued with, hate. Because I tell you something about yourself doesn't mean that I hate you. I'm trying to help you uplift yourself, with knowledge. And so you can have understanding. And it doesn't mean that I necessarily hate you. It's just that I'm challenging you. And some people take that offensively. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, this culture, this generation rather, is hardcore. They're bold. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The Bible talks about a generation that's going to be bold. I believe that's this generation.
Mm-hmm.
They're bold. They're fearless. Mm-hmm. But they're so sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
They're so sensitive. They let their emotions get in the way.
Yeah, mm-hmm. They can't take this constructive criticism. And it's not, I'm not assassinating your character. I'm trying to make you be a little better. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they can't take the, pull your pants up, man. Go clean your room. You know what I'm saying? Little stuff like that irks them and gets under their skin, and it breaks them down. And it's like, wow, like, but you ready to fight me and cuss me out?
But that's where we have to have why. We have to continuously ask the question of why. Why?
True.
Why are they so emotional? Because once again, we're in a parental role. You know what I mean? So we can't look at them and look to throw them away or disconnect them from us. And this is why this podcast is called Project Mirror. Because the whole thing is, when you look into the mirror at yourself, you're looking at everybody else within your neighborhood, your environment, your community. Yep. So don't think that you're on this pedestal. They are us and we are them, at the end of the day. So
just like Professional Sutton, again, that's a knowledgeable brother right there. Mm-hmm. We also have to lead. The money is coming too fast for the older generation, who are envious because of that. They weren't able to accomplish, but they need to understand that the younger generation is.
And
yeah.
Yeah, so we gonna delve into the more positive aspects
Paying homage. He's
of
right.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely,
And it's
absolutely.
and like I said, it's what is it's so beneficial. Like I said, they're making money at a super fast rate, and it should, you know, be one of those things where okay, invest.
Mm-hmm.
Hey y'all, can we get the lights up to the match? Who's watching?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I just thought
just you know, you invest. You know, make your community that much better. You know,
But you know what? The whole shit, just like professional said, there is a lot of the older generation that is they very envious and they very they don't want to teach the younger generation. They're too busy trying to be like the younger generation. How in the hell are you 37 years old and you a blood all of a sudden?
Yeah,
Think about that.
yeah.
That's crazy.
But we want to keep it on the positive aspects because I think there's too much negative, too much going at people, and if you catch more flies with honey than you do shit.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, and you can't really grasp a person and have them come up under your wing if you're calling them stupid all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we have to, like I said before, jump into more of a parental role when it comes us older cats of the hip hop culture. We have to jump into more of a parentified role. Like I hope that we wouldn't go to our children and just curse them out. You know what I mean? Every time we wanted to get a message across.
Yeah.
So there is, like you said, this generation that's coming up, they're bold.
And they have a lot of energy.
A lot of energy. A lot of energy. And they do have a lot of money that they have, and a lot of materialism that they have. And it's like they need the guidance.
But you know what?
From us.
Just like Professional Sutton said, he said paying homage by sampling and taking them on tour. I'm gonna take that as what he is saying is that for the younger generation who got to this level, pay homage to the older, I'm gonna say the older gods that have paved the way. Take them on tour with you so you could stay steady. Like Wu-Tang. They had Papa Wu. Without Papa Wu, actually, I grew up with the RZA. My mother was his mother's best friend, Linda Lou. But the thing is that Papa Wu used to be working for transit. He was a token clerk. So by him going on tour with them, they paid homage because he was an older god. And not only that, he kept them out of trouble to go as far as, they are today. So I understand that. I understand what.
So nature will always win. If you let people do what they need to do, whatever they need will find them, and they will find whatever they need at the time. So we have to be more curious than we are judgmental.
Yeah.
Ask them questions about the culture because let's face it, we're not in our teens. We're not in our 20s. So there's an aspect of life that they are living that we have no clue about. So let's not sit here and act like we do know about it because we don't. So let's try to be more curious than we are judgmental. And I wanted to talk about delving into the positive aspects. Like I started off talking about Styles P with the juice bars and things of that nature. Yes. I like the movement that T.I., David Banner is on, Killer Mike is on, where they're spreading a lot of knowledge through the hip hop community when it comes to everything from real estate investments, right, finances, things of that nature, where they're actually older cats taking the initiative. They're still making songs with, T.I.'s album was great last year. I love T.I. album, one of the greatest hip hop art albums. And I don't even listen to a lot of the newer stuff that people are putting out. But T.I. had a great album, and he had a few songs up there with some of the younger cats. So he's not disconnecting himself from them, as did when he, like I said before, hooked up with Hit Boy, hooked up with a couple of the cats from the younger generation, not disconnecting themselves, but latching on to them so they can take them under their wing, as I said before. And I think we need to do a better job of that, of realizing that we don't truly know them like that.
See, I don't have kids, so I always look at it from my perspective. You know what I'm saying? So it's I have God kids or whatever, but they only call when they want something. You know how that is. So I don't have kids. So I always look at it from. It's hard for me to look at it from a parent's point of view because I'm not a parent. But I understand the each one teach one. I truly understand that because I looked up to a lot of people, and a lot of people dropped knowledge on me when I was younger. So yeah, you do have to sit and talk. And I think where we go wrong is everything's strategic. You know what I'm saying? Everything is strategic. So you might have to take them to lunch. You know what I'm saying? You might have to take them to the studio. You might have to, like, yo, let's go shopping. Let's go to the mall. And while you out walking, talking, whatever, that's when you start, it's strategic. Because if you come in and you trying to preach to somebody and you bring the Bible and you just open the pages and start reading, you're going to tune them out. Right. So everything's strategic. So I get what you're saying, with taking them under your wing and latching on, and yeah, we do have to have patience, we do have to have patience because, those are our kids, you know what I'm saying? And meaning, people our age is their kids.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you said that because you had stated, you don't have children, but it doesn't take away from the fact that you're a man and a leader. And I think where a lot of people go wrong is they wait for parenthood to become a father.
Yeah.
You don't need parenthood to become a father. You are born a father. You know what I mean? So as in, as the Bible states that, God sent us with our gift to earth. So we already had it before we got here. We just had to become the tree in the forest. Yeah. So we were the seed. So you're born. That seed is the father. You know what I mean? You just have to go through life processes in order to become that man that can now teach to others. You know what I mean?
That's going to be another subject because
oh, absolutely.
Fathers, just because you provide don't mean you're a father.
It doesn't mean no. And just because you don't have children that you bore doesn't mean that you're not a father within your community. Yeah. Because as I stated before, you helped raise me and taught me a lot of stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was a father figure to me.
Yeah. So you know what? Just like DJ Vivacious has said, teaching the culture to expand further with financial guidance. What I take out of that is again, a lot of the younger cultures are being dumbed down by these large amounts of money. So they're being blinded basically. That's what I take from that.
Yeah, well, they're only doing what they're taught. Yo, when you make it, you buy the uniform, you get your chain, you get your car, you get your girl. You know what I'm saying? You buy your Prada, your Gucci. It's a uniform. It's a uniform, but they're only doing what they see others doing.
You know, who was out there? Has anybody, either one of y'all, heard of some of the things that some of these artists are doing as far as real estate and thing? I think like DJ Envy is into real estate.
Slim Thug in Houston, I think, is in the real estate now. The first person I know that got into real estate that was kind of a major artist was Baby Got Back. What's his name?
Actually, I know who you're talking about.
Baby Got Back. Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Yeah.
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
You had Cameron had a whole chain of chicken joints. He had Popeyes, and he's in the fashion, so he made clothes. Cameron was one of those guys, and now Little Durk has a truck company.
Nice.
And I think he is in real estate as well.
And that's what we need to hear, and that's what we need to see. We don't hear and see that.
Well, that's what this show this episode is based on is what positive aspects are going on, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
in hip hop right now. How is hip hop helping the culture to grow in healthy and positive ways?
Again,
And
like
there are artists out there that's taking the initiative to do it.
Nipsey Hussle was one. You know what I'm saying? With his store and everything. So they're doing it. Like I said, they got I don't know if you want their alcohol. A lot of people got their own.
H-Town is in the building. I'm sorry. I just thought
Okay.
that's
Texas.
You
know, a lot of people got their own clothing. A lot of people got their own alcohol. So that's cool. That's why I don't know if you want to consider alcohol a positive.
But you know what?
You know what I'm saying? It's an investment.
Just like professional, that's true. Just like Professional Sutton said, a lot of these guys, like the Migos, take the older guards on tour and put money in their pockets. And you know what? That's pretty cool because just like he said earlier, Professional Sutton, they're paying homage. And it's sort of like a way of feeding the positivity, because the older guard, if he's on that level, he gonna teach him to do the right thing. Just like I mentioned Papa Wu, earlier and everything. I think that a lot of these younger rappers, like look at the rappers that died. When was it? I think a few weeks ago. I forgot the name of those guys. I forgot those guys' name. But I'll leave it on to y'all.
Oh, but God, you.
Yeah. But
it's your show.
Nah. But absolutely. I think the media is also taking a stance to show what they want to show, and they're not showing enough positivity that's happening in the hip hop because they want to have our mind going in a certain way that we are negative. That there's more negative than positive. So they're not showing the Migos taking people on tour and things of that nature. The media is not doing that. They rather shed light on the crime and how many people are getting shot and the negativity that's going on. But there's a lot of positive within the hip hop culture. If you look into any culture, there's positive and there's negative. If you look into any aspect of the white culture, if you look into any aspect of the Asian culture, there's a bunch of negative and a bunch of positive. That's who we are because it's microscopic of the macro level of human beings. As human beings, we're positive and negative. Mm-hmm. We are. That's the energy. There's a positive and there's a negative. There's a North Pole and a South Pole. Mm-hmm. You can't have a positive without a negative. So we need to start shedding more light on the positive aspects. It's almost like the word nigger, right? It was created to be a derogatory term. And we somehow flipped it and turned it around. And I know a lot of people still look at it as being a derogatory term. But we flipped it around and we use it as a word of endearment, a lot of people. Rather no matter how you want to take it. A lot of people use it, that's my nigga, and it might still sound derogatory to somebody, but instead of allowing people, so I can picture like, a white slave master back in the day saying, you nigger, and you looking at him and laughing. Now you just took all of that power from that word away from him because it's not hurting you. You know what I mean? So if we keep delving on the negative, we're giving that power. We're giving that aspect and what they're trying to do to us power. But if we ignore that, for the most part, you know what I mean? Talk about it amongst ourselves, and you know what I mean? Because a lot of people, they talk about stuff within their own quarters, in their own household. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They don't air their dirty laundry out in the public. So if we begin to shed light on the positive aspects, then we're feeding that. You understand what I'm saying? Do I make sense? Or
yeah, I agree. I get you. I definitely agree with that. Yeah. I just think that again, what Professional Sutton was saying, all right, you know what, TJ Vivacious also is saying a lot of good things. And she said a lot of hip hop artists have investments in every area: clothing, restaurants, sports team, real estate, and showing long-term financial stability. And I believe The reason why they are doing that is because now hip hop is dying out, to be honest with you. It's not true to it like it was back in the days. It's not true to it. A lot of these guys is coming up making music that has no stance in hip hop at all. You know, like the best era for hip hop to me was the 90s. That was the 80s and the 90s. 70s, I think that was disco. You know, but that's what I think.
So what I plan to do, and what I had planned to do, but it fell through this week, was to get some of the younger cats up here to talk about hip hop, because to us it may have died, but to them it may be a breath of fresh air. How we used to sit around, I used to love, because you know I used to do my thing rapping. And I used to love going into ciphers and just being a part of the culture, you know, rather we spitting, just sitting around talking about hip hop or whatever. And they do the same thing. It's a part of their upbringing and their culture. So it's alive and well to them. It may have died to us. So we have to be careful of when we're talking from a personal perspective.
But you know what? Just like DJ Vivacious just said, hip hop sucks now. And you know what? I see exactly where she's coming from. And the reason why I say that is because people are getting killed now. See, Nas and Jay-Z and all those guys, they kept it on wax.
All right, I'm going to ask, though, that we try to keep it more on a positive level, though. Listen, I agree. There's a lot of aspects of the hip-hop culture that sucks. Like, for instance, rap, which is a part of the hip-hop culture. It's not as good as it was. You don't have a lot of lyricists back in the day. A lot of these big name rappers right now would not have stood the test of time back in the day. But if you go into basketball, there's a lot of people that say that LeBron James wouldn't have survived against the Detroit Pistons. You know what I mean? So that's in every culture.
It sucks to us because we're past what we call the golden years. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna suck to us because we're not, like he said, we're not attached to it like that anymore.
But see, you know what? Yeah, that's true. But the thing is, the reason why I say it sucks is because, you know, I used to do showcases, rap showcases. And
I feel like you're about to go on a personal perspective.
No. I'm gonna try not to. But the thing is I say that because a lot of the guys are dying. The talent is wasted. I'm not saying that these guys are bad at rapping, because it's some talent out there.
It really is.
It's just that these guys are losing their lives after they say certain words in their lyrics. Like Chicago is a prime example, you know, and you know, it's horrible that King Von lost his life. It's horrible that FBG Duck lost his life. And then it was the two latest ones that's in Brooklyn that passed away. And it's, you know, like you said, hip hop is evolving. I'm gonna just say it's evolving. And there's a lot of talent out there. But can you live through the talent?
Right. And you know, and thank you, DJ Vivacious, for, you know, stating that, you know, she was speaking of the lyrics and the lyricists. And that's where I was going with it, is that, you know, there's a part of the hip hop culture that is not as good as it was back in the day, because at least it's not good to our ears. And as I stated before, when hip hop first started and our parents were listening to it, it wasn't good to their ears either, because it wasn't Roy C. or them other R&B artists. You know what I mean? It wasn't them, so it wasn't good. So we have to acknowledge the fact that this may not be our cup of tea. It may have been our baby, but we have to allow our baby to grow. You know what I mean? So you may raise a child up to a certain age, and after a while you may get pissed off at the avenue that child is taking, but that's the child's life. You gave birth to that child. So this is where we are with hip hop. We may have gave birth to it. We kept the culture going, but it now belongs to the new generation. What do you guys think about that?
I agree with you. It do. But the thing is that they gotta stop taking it literally and going and killing each other. Because let me tell you something. Now, okay, I'm a DJ. C is a DJ. L, you a lyricist. You know, but the thing is, now remember when you was younger, right? Mm-hmm. And you went to a basement party that cost $3 to get into, right? Mm-hmm. And then a certain song would come on, Mobb Deep or something like that. You feeling different vibes in your head.
Right.
But you ain't gonna live that vibe out.
Well, some of us did.
Some of us did. They ain't around now.
Yeah.
Well, and also, it doesn't take much to make a track. Everybody's looking for that one track. Nobody's looking for longevity. I want that club banger. I want that club hit. Yeah. I just want to make a hook that everybody can think is catchy and you know what I'm saying?
Well,
and get streams, and then somebody sign me or somebody, you know, whatever, however it works.
Yeah.
So it's not. It's like home cooking versus fast food. Mm-hmm. You know.
True. Mm-hmm. So I want to challenge you guys once again. We're gonna circle back around.
Yeah.
To talk about some of the hip hop artists that you know that are doing positive things for the culture. Let's hear one or two.
Chris Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's one of the people who actually withstood most of the people that he came up with.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say that, because his songs are longevity.
No, he was saying something positive, like
he was saying something positive.
No, yeah. Like what is he doing positive?
What does he do? Well, for one, he was saying he's saying positive things in his song. You don't ever hear him talking about killing nobody and nothing like that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, he's doing things for the community. He's from Virginia originally. I don't know. He might be my cousin. I got the same last name.
And a lot of, you know, going back to what you were saying about the positive aspects, we don't own, you know, we miss like Video Music Box. We don't have a lot of that out there anymore. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a lot. We don't own any media. You know, we don't own any state because we're not showing our positive. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
We don't have nothing to show our positive.
Okay. Because we blinded.
Well, you know? I don't know if we're blinded. I just don't think, like Chris has stated, we don't own. So therefore, the people that run the music industry, run the entertainment industry, are not us. They're not of our culture. So they really don't understand us. Nor do they probably care about the positive aspects of our culture. They just going to put out there what sells.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean? So we have to own more. And so we're going through something. So now you have artists who are now owning, who are now starting. There are more record labels being started, more independent artists who are doing their thing. They're getting more profit shares from album sales and things of that nature now because the culture is evolving.
Yeah.
Evolving.
One thing I could say that I think the younger generation in hip hop has latched onto is, you know, I know he alluded to them killing themselves, but I think they live I'm not like a healthier lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think they live, you know, besides, you know, certain things or whatever, but I think their lifestyle, I think they eat better than like the old school rappers being on the road, going to McDonald's every night. And you know what I'm saying? So I think having money to have stuff catered.
Well, you know what?
You know, you're eating better. So, you know, you I think they're healthier in that way, honestly.
Well, you know what? To be honest with you, okay, for instance, I'm looking at the comments here, and DJ Vivacious said.
Well, let me speak to that really quick.
Okay.
Because I wanted to get to that. DJ Vivacious has said the lyrics not making anyone kill. It's the individual who have problems within themselves, and that's absolutely true. Yes, and this is why we have a spike in things within our culture that we didn't have before. You know, that wasn't in our culture when we talk. Anxiety, depression, you know, things of that nature. We had issues within our culture. There were people out there who went to certain drugs, to alcohol and things of that nature because they may have been battling with certain mental issues that they were born with, such as schizophrenia, trauma that they dealt with at a certain point in time in their life that caused them to go towards certain substances. But we didn't have a high rate of anxiety and depression within our culture. And this is because we're out of order. We're following other people's culture and trying to make it our own. Just like the black man has a certain diet that we're supposed to follow. Well, you know, we didn't grow up in the Caucasus Mountains, so we didn't grow up on meat, you know, and having to live in that cold culture and having to eat and live the way that they did. So we have to follow our own diet, and we have to learn that. That's another show. So we are out of order. So back to what DJ Vivacious is saying, is that the people have a problem within themselves. True. And therefore you're going to speak how you feel. This is why I wanted to get to more positive aspects, because if we start talking negative, you're telling on yourself. Because that means you're negative on the inside. And that's the only thing that you can see, because your eyes are blinded by the negative. There's a whole bunch of positive in this world. There are flowers growing up. You know what I mean?
It definitely is.
Yeah.
Like just like Professional Son said. He said hip hop doesn't suck. We grew up. You know, that makes a lot of sense what he said.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
As you grow, your likes and dislikes changes.
Yeah.
Your taste buds changes as you grow.
But you know, also what he said, that's true too. He said hip hop is in transition. Mm-hmm. These kids are learning about themselves through music. I believe that as well. But you know what the thing is also, see, not to say it on a negative level. See, the thing is, back in the days, from what I can remember, we earned a lot of things. Mm-hmm. You know, the kids of the day is handed to them. You know, see, if you work hard for something, you can appreciate it more than if it's handed to you. And I think a lot of the kids I ain't gonna say a lot of kids of the day, because you got some very intelligent young kids out here. You know, I think some of the artists of today, just like you had said earlier, they following a lot of other people. Mm-hmm. You know, to be honest with you, a lot of people are following the Chicago style.
Well, a lot of these young kids are blazing their own trails too.
Absolutely
true. Indeed.
They're blazing their own trails. They're if you see that's again, we don't have the media to show the positive. You know, you got young kids delving into sneakers. Sneakers is a huge industry right now. Kids is painting sneakers and selling, reselling, becoming millionaires off that. You don't see that because that's not what they're showing anywhere.
Actually, the people a couple of people started that. Stephon Marbury was one of the people who actually started that with the sneakers and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think that was sort of like the beginning of it. And there are a lot of younger kids out here that's following. But I want to ask you something, right? I had did something about this. Do you think the kids are acting out their parents' emotions?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. Everything is generational. And now we're talking about more generational trauma that's going on. And so the children have taken on the emotions of the parents. And I think a lot of times what happens is we blame the victim. Because if you look into the adult culture, we are messed up as well. There's a lot of us who are just now getting on certain healthy and nutritious paths, and not just nutrition when it comes to food, but what we ingest into us, you know, into our mind, into our spirit, into our emotions. So we trickle that down to these children.
We got a big dog watching right here. Let's give a shout out to Seti Nash. That's a big dog right there.
Right. All right. Shout out Seti
California.
Nash.
Salute.
Shout out Seti Nash.
Seti Nash.
You know, as I was stating, we are trickling down those emotions to the generation. And as I stated before, as I'm, trying to keep it on track with, we are the parents at the end of the day. So a lot of times when a child grows up in a household, and I know I work in home doing mental health counseling with children, most of the time in that household, the child is far from the problem. The child is a product of a bigger issue, which normally is the parenting styles or lack thereof. And so absolutely the children are taking on the emotions of
Yeah.
us, of the adults.
You pass down because oh, don't do that, don't do this. Where you learn that from? My mother, her mother taught her. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it definitely trickles down. Definitely.
Yeah. So DJ Vivacious, the culture of today is tremendously different than back in the day.
Oh, wow.
A lot of kids are raising themselves and learning the culture through music. You don't know what a child is going through. Absolutely. And that's what I stated before. We can't sit here and act like we know what they're going through. We're dealing with stuff nowadays, even with COVID. We didn't deal with a pandemic of this magnitude where we were in school 1 minute and then the next minute we were hybrid or totally home and working on a computer from home. We don't know what that's like to be going back and forth, pulling their emotions back and forth like that. We don't know what that's like.
Walk to school in snow.
Exactly. So like I said before, we have to be more curious and asking these children questions than we are judgmental. The time that we have to be judgmental is when we see them hurting themselves. And that's why I thank you guys for a lot of the comments, because what I hear you're saying that is that these children are hurting themselves and they're killing themselves and I care. So I want to say something about it. But let's ask why. Why are they doing that? You know what I mean?
I want to say this. I want to just thank Seti Nash, for he shared this broadcast. Like I said, that's a big dog in the game. He also rapped as well. I'm shocked that Seti came on to the show. That's dope. But also, he said just doing my part. Thank you, Sid. I appreciate you. We appreciate you a whole lot, big dog.
Yeah. And yeah, thanks. Shout out to Seti Nash. Shout out to everybody that's watching, and I think our culture gets satisfied with knowing and not understanding. Tell me what such and such but do you want to understand? You know what I'm saying? We don't get concerned with understanding. We just want to be nosy and know. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I know about this, I know about that, but do you understand? And that's what Lamont is saying, getting to the bottom of it. We got to stop that. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop wanting to just know, oh, you heard such and such down the block, her kids, her daughter pregnant and this, that, the other, and you all into there, but understand why, what happened, why the mom ain't there, the dad ain't there. You know what I'm saying? There's a bigger picture and there's a bigger problem in the community that we don't want to talk about and we don't want to deal with.
Well, a lot of us don't know how to deal with it either. You know what I mean? And Dave Dogg says, stop the cap. Problem is we're letting kids run amok. We're also letting government agency tell us how to be parents. And a part of that is the truth.
Yes.
What I'm trying to speak on is having more understanding for these children and proper parenting where we don't have to be so corporal, and we have more understanding and we go to them and sit down with them and talk to them and understand who they are as individuals in their culture. You know what I mean? And then we can step in and give them guidance. That's proper parenting. Nobody wants to walk into a classroom where you go and ask the teacher a question, or you're having issues in the classroom and the teacher just tells you, stop doing this and curse you out, this, that, and the third. A lot of children want to be heard.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm acting out the way I'm acting out. Yeah. I come from a broken home. My mother's on drugs and I never knew my dad. Like, my life is broken in ways that at 7 years old, I don't know how to explain. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to, as leaders, those of us who have the real knowledge, to actually sit down and have understanding for these children. Oh, a lot of this stuff is going to delve into mental health.
You know what's needed?
Your child acting out here, take these drugs. That's basically what it comes down to. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's needed? I'm going to tell you what's needed. The family need to sit down at the kitchen table and eat together. That's what's needed.
That's part of it, but time. Stuff is so do you have time anymore? You got to make time
People
because our lives is so we're machines basically.
You know what it is?
You know what I'm saying? Machines. We're basically machines. So you gotta make that time.
People,
That's only if you care.
But you know what? People, it should be a situation where people should put their cell phones. It should be a situation where every family should, just like you got a coat rack, put your cell phones at the cell phone rack and sit at the table and eat, have some family time. See, that's what we had back in the days.
And you know what? Now that you're saying that, that's exactly what we're trying to say. And you're talking about from a household level where the seed starts, that families need to sit down. So to bring it to the macro system and the culture, we need to sit down.
True.
As a cultural family with this younger generation, with these children, and properly talk to them. Not call them stupid, not call them out on their flaws all the time, because it does need to happen, but we need to learn how to parent. Parent doesn't come in slapping your child and telling them what to do. That's your personal perspective and how you want that child to be raised. You know what I mean? What about what that child wants and how to guide them on that? A lot of us don't know how to do it. And this is where we flaw, because a lot of us are not right within themselves.
True.
You know, a lot of us are not right within ourselves, and we don't know how to lead. And that's going to definitely be a part of the podcast. We starting this off as hip hop, you know, because we are of the hip hop culture, but a lot of it is going to delve into totally different
avenues that we need to address.
Absolutely. Manhood, womanhood, fatherhood, motherhood. You know, that we need to talk about. Thank you, Walter Davis, for the fist.
Yeah.
You know, as we were going into some of the stuff, Dave was saying problem is not individualism problem is their kids don't want discipline or direction. How does a kid not want discipline or direction?
You know what?
You have to give it. Hold on, dog. Okay. Hold on, dog. How does a kid not want discipline or direction? You can't not want that. It's given to you. When we step outside of our household, life is going to come at us no matter what we want. You know what I mean? So police are out there going to be policing whether you want it or not. So in your own household, it's not about what the children want. It's what you need to teach to them children, to the children. You are the leader. So when we delve into the hip hop culture, this younger generation may be going through something. They may not want to hear, but we have to learn how to get to them. So as I stated before with a lot of these, like the TIs and the Nas's, it's not by calling them stupid. It's grabbing them by the hand like, yo, let's make a song together. Yeah. You know what I mean?
They ready to kick down some doors. This younger generation ready to kick down some doors, but we got to have their back. You know what I'm saying? Or we got to stand with them.
Yeah.
You know, we got to stand with them because they got the money. They got the boldness. You know what I'm saying? They just need to know like, yo, we got your back. Yeah. But again, we got to sit down and organize and talk, have that talk so we all on the same page before we go to the door.
Absolutely.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? Before we go to the door, you just want to go to the door. All right, you going to kick it or you going to knock it? You know what I'm saying? Nah, we got to, when we get there, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Dave said, spare the rod, spoil the child. He's saying, beat your kid.
Everything don't require a beating, man.
But no, and DJ Vivacious have bringing up a great point. There's role reversals within the household where the kids are now becoming the parents.
Yes, because of the money.
Because of the money, and also because parents don't have the fortitude to parent. True. It's easier to sit your child in front of a YouTube channel. It's easier to sit your child in front of a television, a computer game, or something like that, than to properly structure and discipline your child. Why? Because you're out of order.
Yeah.
If you become a better teacher, you'll become a better leader.
Mm-hmm. True indeed.
And a lot of parents have to recognize that you don't know how to lead because you have passions. So get yourself into counseling, or get yourself a better group of friends, start bettering your lifestyle, and I guarantee you'll start seeing a change within your own household. There is a role reversal that's going on in our household.
And stop being your kid's friend. You're not their friend.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You know, you're not their friend.
Exactly.
It's okay to tell them no or to discipline them or whatever. You're not their friend.
Absolutely.
You
Not
know,
at
you
all.
keep playing. You keep playing on a child's level. A child going to meet you at that level, and you're going to be mad when they start disrespecting. But that's the level you chose to play with that child on. So that's all they know.
Yeah.
You know, they don't know you as a parent. They don't know you as an adult because you play on their level. And once they start disrespecting you, you get mad, you get upset.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? You know what else I think? Because me and Vaughn Live had this discussion as well. Stop giving your kids choices. Mm-hmm. You know, because when that's just like not that. Well, no, I ain't gonna say that, but you know, when you give your kids choices, you giving them room to push you out the door.
Well, you need choices. You gotta have choices. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have choices.
To a certain
choices.
age. You know, like if the kid sometime just like the Dave Dog, you know, what he said, you know, just now I ain't gonna read it yet because I just want to say this part. You know, when a kid is a certain age, I would say when a kid reach 7 or 8, old enough to understand certain things, that's when the choices come.
Yeah, but a child's character starts at like 3 years old, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A child character starts at like 3 years old. You ever hear people, he been playing the piano since he was 3 years old. I knew.
True.
You know, he used to shoot a basketball at 3. So it starts early. It's just paying attention to it and developing it and channeling it.
That's where Eric Erickson, who created the 8 stages of psychosocial development, I think that's the intimacy or autonomous stage of a child's life where you start exploring the world around you at that stage of your life where everything is like magic. You know, and they start delving. They call them the terrible twos. It's not the terrible twos. It's just that this world is like magic to them.
Yeah.
So all of the social learning that they can get is very important to them. And when they grow up in discord and they grow up in destructive households and destructive societies, 9 times out of 10, they're going to become a destructive young individual.
Just like Dave Dawes said. That makes a lot of sense what he said.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But, you know, so we have to delve into that aspect. But this is where I'm saying that a lot of us as leaders do not have the proper knowledge. And that's not to say that you're not worthy of leading wherever you can lead from. Just understand that life is a continuous change. So that means you're going to have to continue to work on yourself to become a better leader. And that starts with understanding. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You have to have understanding for things and people. And the more understanding you have, the more empathy you have for a person. Mm-hmm. We want to fight against stuff when we don't have understanding of things. We want to beat down things when we don't have understanding. Isn't that what happened to Black people? Mm-hmm. Because people didn't understand us or don't understand us, so they want to kick us out and beat us down. So why are we now doing it to our same culture? Why can we only point out the negative aspects of these young kids in hip hop? I'm not doing to them what the white man or the government is doing to us. I'm not doing that.
True. Yeah, you just shut it down, man.
That's it. So, you know, and, you know, we can, you know, and one of the things that I got was the podcast was maybe too long from a couple of people the last time. People's attention span not that long, but we still getting comments, so I don't know. But,
yeah. You know I mean? It's going pretty good.
You know,
what DJ Vivacious say?
It goes both ways. Black male and women need to stop sleeping around with everyone. That's not a good outlook for your children to see. And I think she was commenting to Dave Dog, who said money is a tool. Let's not get it twisted. These new age parents are kids having babies. Absolutely. Also, please, Black women, stop sleeping around with these Pookies and Ray Rays. Now, and I get that. And to explain it from a different perspective is that choose your mate wisely.
Yeah.
You know, and I know a lot of us, we start getting hormones, and I had children at a young age. You know, and because I had hormones that were raging out of control and having stuff happens when you start messing around. You know what I mean? So we have to teach our children once again, as leaders, to choose their mates wisely. Don't bring her home with these issues. Don't bring him into my household and they have those issues. That right there is giving your child a choice, but stating to them that I'm not okay with this choice because I know that it's going to possibly negatively affect you. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these girls are getting involved with guys who are not, on a certain level.
True.
Where they need to be in order to be a proper parent and a proper leader. And then what happens is you have this child, and like I said before, the child becomes the culprit when they're really the victim of a messed up household.
The hand they was dealt.
Of the hand that they were dealt. So then we start blaming the victim. There's all types of resources out there to blame children, starting from after school programs to detention centers and stuff like that. You never see parents getting locked up. Should they?
Some.
That's true. What do you think about that guy that killed his mother a couple of days ago?
You know what? I don't want to delve into that. Because of the simple fact that when people leave this podcast, I wanted us to try to end on a good note. And I know stuff like that needs to be talked about. And dog, I would love to come back on a podcast with you because I watched almost all your podcasts and talk about, some of the other aspects, but we wanted to keep it to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To a certain thing. Yes. And I want to comment on what Walter said. Flavor Time is hip hop. That's very true.
It's true.
That's very true. But I think DJ Vivacious, Dave Dog, my boy Professional Sutton, Seti Nash from Cali. You said he was from Cali.
Cali. That's a big dog.
Cali.
Right
there.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Tuning in.
Yes.
We will be at you guys again in 2 weeks. Not next weekend, but the following weekend. So we can, maybe talk about the Super Bowl and bring in, somebody. Bring that in. I will turn anything into a discussion based around society and mental health and where we are.
Excellent show.
Yeah, man. Excellent, man. We can go on and on and on, and we will in other podcasts. So I hope you guys were not only entertained, but most importantly, uplifted in that you continue this conversation with your friends and your families, and definitely tune into us again. Project Mirror Podcast, the Go Love team, UD Productions, Go Love team.
Yes, sir.
My fam, my cousin Chris.
Yes, sir.
My boy Dog, Underdog.
Mr. L. Lamont himself.
Yes, Flavor Time.
AKA Flavor Time.
AKA. And once again, knowledge is power.
Yes, sir.
Knowledge is power, y'all.
Yes,
so get as much knowledge as you can.
Yeah.
All right. Peace.